What's up guys, and welcome once again to another video. My name is Soy Ricardo and we have a pretty awesome video this week. Now we all know that 2020 was a very difficult and very hard year. There's a lot of things that I regret doing. There's a lot of things that I wish I could have done better in 2020. Well, one of those things is that while I was actually in my studio a lot more time than a normal year where I would have to go to work every single day, this year I was able to stay home a lot more and kind of be in my studio a lot more, which kind of made me want to create a lot more, which then made me want to get a whole bunch of gear that I didn't need anymore. So basically in this video, I'm just gonna go over 2 items that I bought back in 2020 that I regret buying. It was more of like an impulse buy, which I don't think anyone should do, especially if you're at home trying to create and you're on a budget. So these are just 2 items that I regret buying back in 2020. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start with the first one. Now the first one, it was something that I've been wanting to get for a long time. I've even looked at them online. I've seen them on Amazon. I've been browsing, doing my research, trying to find the best one for the best possible price. Now, after weeks of considering several different options, I just decided that it was a little bit out of my price range and that that I shouldn't buy it. I shouldn't buy it. So then I kind of went in a different route and chose something a little bit budget friendly, obviously not as good. Now, I hope you guys know what I'm talking about, and the DJI Ronin gimbal. Now, last year, before obviously the new ones came out, I was considering buying the DJI Ronin SC. See if I could, start learning how to use the gimbal, if I can get some smoother shots in like my videos. Yeah, I never pulled the trigger on the gimbal, so then I decided to go with the, other budget-friendly option, which are called glide cams. Now, the way the glide cam basically works, you put your camera on top of this pole with weights on the bottom, and it's supposed to kind of like balance it out, giving you the same effect as a gimbal would. So that's kind of what a glide cam is. Now I found one on Amazon for like 60 bucks, I believe, $50-$60. And I went ahead and I made the purchase for it. It actually takes a lot of practice to get a decently usable shot. I'm gonna go ahead and show some shots right here so you guys can see what kind of footage you get using this this glide cam. Now, obviously it does work very well when you're doing slow motion, like 120, it looks super nice. But when you're doing regular 24p and you're trying to get a smooth shot, it's impossible, or at least it was for me. So yeah, here are some shots and you can judge for yourself. Like that, just go. Okay guys, so there, like you saw it, right? It's just some weird, wobbly, drunk looking motion that I just didn't really like. This one is the first one that I regret buying. He only sent me back about $60, so it's not really that hardcore. So yeah, that was my first item. My what was it called? It was this is the newer Handycam, glide cam, whatever you want to call them. There's different names, and as you can see, it's nice material, nice little material of the gimbal. You kind of basically hold it, you put your camera up here, you walk. The thing is, one of the things that I didn't like about it, and this was in my actual review, if you want to watch that video, I'll link it below, and I'll also link it here in the call card. One of the things that I didn't like was this grip. First of all, if you had two of them, one on each side, yeah, it would be probably a lot better. And then my hands sweat, especially during the summer here in Texas. And this material, when it's wet, it's no, like it doesn't absorb it. It makes it more slippery. It creates like, it's just not very nice. Now that's just for me because my hands sweat, but I'm sure other people using this for work probably have the same issue. So that's one of the things that I didn't like. Some of the things that I did like was this head mount up here. This is super nice. And overall, the building material is nice and everything. It's just that it was just too hard to learn how to use it. And I decided not to use it. So it's been sitting in my closet. Let's move on to the second item. All right, guys. So the second item that I regret buying back in 2020, it's one that it was more of a mistake in my part more than a regret purchase. But yes, I'm talking about my, this is from Freewell, and this is my ND filter for my camera that I'm recording right now. This is an awesome ND filter. It's really nice. And let me just kind of tell you what I messed up on, so hopefully you don't make the same mistake. So basically, I needed an ND filter for my camera because sometimes I do shoot outside in the middle of the day. I do vlogs in downtown. Most of the time, it is during the middle of the day. So I figured I would get an ND filter. So you know how that works. It's kind of like sunglasses for your camera. So you don't have to have your shutter speed all the way up in order for you to get a decent exposed shot. So I decided to buy one of these now. I saw a lot of reviews on different ones, like for example, the Peter McKinnon ones on this particular ND filter, and it's great and it works. My only mistake was that I bought the 6 to 9 stop filter instead of the 1 to 3 or the 1 to 6 or the first one, the smaller one, the one that's like way lighter. The one that I have is from 6 to 9, so it's already like underexposed 6 stops. So it became very unusable. Basically, I would have to be in a super bright scenario where I could just have it at 6. I would never go beyond 6. Unless obviously I was doing some sort of long exposure during the day, but I never really did that, so it made no sense. Basically the mistake here was that I bought the 6 to 9 stop instead of the 1 to 6 or the 1 to 3 or whatever. And yeah, now I'm stuck, and this actually was about $109, so it wasn't something cheap that I could just like forget about it, kind of like the glide cam, which was $60, which is still you know, money that I could have spent wisely on something else. These are the 2 items that I purchased back in 2020 that I regret buying. Now, if you are out there and if you do want to get some of these items, I will link them down below. So I hope you can learn something from this video and you don't go out there and make the same mistakes. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this week's video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Make sure you hit and smash the notification bell so you guys can get notified when I upload future videos. And with that said, thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.